A young Adelaide goes to the beach on a trip with her parents Rain and Russell. After Russell wins Adelaide a Michael Jackson Thriller t-shirt at a carnival game and plays whack-a-mole, Adelaide walks away and meets a homeless man with the sign Jeremiah 11 verse 11, then enters a nearby funhouse. Inside, she dreads the mirrors and the vibe of the place and ends up coming face to face with an exact doppelganger. The incident scared her. Sometime later, Adelaide refuses to speak as her parents worry about her. The therapist asks them to let Adelaide tell her story in any form of anything, reading, writing or dancing. In the present day, adult Adelaide Wilson cruises with her husband Gabe and their 2 children Zora, 12, and Jason, 10. As the whole family ate lunch in their beach house, we discover a few things. One is a trip to the beach to help the kids deal with the death of their grandmother, and the other is that Adelaide's still terrified of going to the beach because of what happened before and refuses to go. However, after a bit of persuasion, she reluctantly agrees to go to the beach with her family. Along the way, the family sees a man being carried into an ambulance. He is the same homeless man Adelaide had met years ago with the Jeremiah 11 verse 11 placard. At the beach, the Wilson family meets their friend, the Tylers, consisting of Kitty, Josh, and their teenage twins, Gwen and Maggie. While the kids are at the beach, Kitty and Adelaide talk about Adelaide's gentle nature and her past as a young ballet dancer. Jason soon walks off to find a man with an outstretched arm bleeding. Adelaide notices her son missing and she panicked. He is eventually found by Jason and decides for the family to return home. That evening, after the family settles down, Adelaide tells Gabe about all the traumas of her childhood and worries that recent events mean that her doppelganger is going after her. Gabe tells her not to worry, and then the power goes off. As Gabe prepares to run the backup generator, Jason tells them that a family is in their driveway. Adelaide quickly called 911 as Gabe tries to scare the family off. Eventually, the family started entering the Wilsons' house, and one of the guys hit Gabe with a baseball bat while everyone corners them in the living room. Inside the living room, the Wilsons get a closer look at the family, and they all look like themselves, all wearing red jumpsuits and holding a pair of scissors. Adelaide's doppelganger tells them the story of a princess and her shadow and their relationship, before forcing Adelaide to handcuff herself to the table. She then forces Zora to run away from the house with her doppelganger in pursuit, prompts Jason to join her game, and asks Gabe to drag him onto the boat. After running away, Zora thinks she has outrun her doppelganger Umbri, only to have her appear on the roof of a car. A neighbor realizes the commotion and confronts them, but Umbri kills him with her scissors while Zora escapes. Abraham pulled the unconscious Gabe onto the family boat, then places him in a bag. Gabe finally wakes up and successfully throws Abraham overboard. However, the boat's engine fails and Gabe falls in the water. He eventually gets back into the boat, then Abraham to show up and grab him. After a fight, Gabe promptly activates the boat's engine, completely eviscerating Abraham. At the house, Jason led Pluto into a closet and notices that he mirrors his actions almost simultaneously. He removes his mask and discovers that the lower half of Pluto's face had been burned. Jason impresses him with a magic trick, but when Pluto asks him to do the trick again, he traps him in a closet and escapes. Meanwhile, Red holds Adelaide hostage in the living room and begins trying to smash her face against the glass table, but the commotion caused by Jason's escape leads her away. In panic, Adelaide manages to get the fireplace poker. She destroys the table legs, and get Jason. The two are reunited with Zora and Gabe, and the Wilsons escape on a boat with Red and Pluto watching. At Tyler's, Kitty thinks she sees something outside. Josh pretends that he sees it, only to reveal that he is just playing with her. Then the twins come out of the room and talk, and the second time they think everything is fine, doppelgangers wearing a red jumpsuit, similar to the Wilsons, all appear and kill them all. When the Wilsons arrive for help, Kitty's double drags Adelaide into the house while Gabe tries to distract Josh's double. After a fight, The Wilsons kill all of the Tyler's doppelgangers and reunite in the house. The Wilsons turns on the television and discovers in the frantic news reports that the red-clad doubles have been mysteriously appeared and are killing people all over the world, and have joined together holding hands, similar to Hands Across America. Gabe wants to hide in the house, but Adelaide says they have to keep moving and escape. The family decides to take the Tyler's car, but when Adelaide finds the keys, Kitty is still alive and attacks her. She manages to kill her, but when the family gets to the car, Umbry shows up. After a series of sequences, they manage to kill Umbry when they suddenly accelerated and abruptly stopped the car, sending her flying into a tree. It is now morning and the Wilsons get to the boardwalk. At the boardwalk, they see their original car on fire with Pluto standing in front of it. Adelaide decides to get out and walk towards him, and quickly realizes it's a trap. Jason acts quickly and gets Pluto walk backwards into the burning car, and just when the family thought it's over, Red grabs Jason. Adelaide runs after them, while Zora and Gabe see that the beach is now full of red-clad doppelgangers joining hands. Adelaide returns to the funhouse and descends into an underground tunnel with rabbits roaming free. She finds Red in one of the rooms and Red explains his plan to her. Red says that all this time, the underground facility, presumably part of the Hell Dimension, has been filled with everyone's doppelgangers and now it's time for them to show up. She says she has always been a part of Adelaide, and being a ballet dancer as a child led her out of the tunnel and into the funhouse where they met. It took her a long time, but a plan was drawn up with everyone in the tunnel now being executed. After a fight, Adelaide subdues Red and kills her by placing her by impaling her to the fireplace poker and gets Jason back. The family reunites and drives away. Everything is fine, and everyone looks relieved until a quick flashback shows that when Red met Adelaide in the funhouse years ago, she knocked her over, took her Thrillers t-shirt her and go out into the real world. The Adelaide we saw in the entire movie is actually the doppelganger, and Red is simply Adelaide actually getting her revenge, which also explains why Red is the only one of the doubles to have a concrete speech while all the other doppelgangers in the movie have a guttural and animalistic sound. Jason seems to realize the truth and put on his mask. The film ends showing all of America's red doppelgangers gathered together around the United States, holding hands with news and police helicopters observing them from above. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and turn on the notification for movies like this.